Perhaps the biggest mindset block there is centers around feeling that you're not good enough or you're unworthy or undeserving in some way. A lot of people have some version of this playing pretty loudly in their subconscious. And a way that I particularly like to address this involves tapping while visualizing things with your eyes closed. So after this introduction, I'm going to switch to audio only. You can tap on the usual tapping points or on your fingertip circle, whichever is easiest for you. So I want you to start tapping right now and just keep tapping. And when we transition into the audio only, you'll just keep tapping from wherever you were. Tap at whatever speed feels comfortable for you. We're going to visualize your younger selves at different ages and send them some love. That's really all this comes down to. Now, if you have a child and this exercise is challenging for you, one thing you can do is to think about your child at each of the ages that we're going to visit. And you know that your child didn't need to do a thing when they were a baby or a toddler or a 13-year-old or whatever the age is to deserve your love, to be worthy of being cared for. So you can compare, you can move from your own child to yourself and understand that just in the way that your child didn't need to do anything to be deserving, you didn't either. Now, if you don't have a child of your own, perhaps you can think of a niece or a nephew or a friend's child or some other child around the same age as we're working on whom you love, or maybe just like. But remember, no child ever, ever, ever needs to do anything to be deserving of love, to be worthy of being cared for. Now, I want you to close your eyes, keep tapping at whatever speed you wish, while we tap on those feelings that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not deserving. Okay? Here we go. Now, while you're tapping, I want you to call up your younger self. This is you as a baby. There she is. She can't do anything for herself. She's just a tiny little infant. I want you to fill up your heart with love for this baby. She's totally dependent on other people. Crying is her only way to communicate when she needs something. And you know what? It's all okay. She's good enough just the way she is. Fill up your heart with love for that tiny baby. And when you're ready, when your heart is overflowing with love for her, go ahead and just beam that love into her heart. Fill up that baby's heart with love. Let her know that she is okay just the way she is. She's good enough. Fill up her heart with love. Let it spill over and fill up her whole body with love. She is good enough just the way she is. And when you're ready, I want you to call up your younger self as a 2-year-old. There she is. You're going to fill up your heart with love for her. So see her as she's exploring her world. She's trying new things. She's getting better coordination, but oh man, she still falls down. She still drops things. She's still making mistakes and spilling things. It's how she's learning. And she's learning to be separate from her parents. So she's saying no to everything, just to try out what it's like to be separate from them, to disagree with them. And sometimes it drives them nuts, but that's what she's supposed to be doing at this age. She's the little explorer out there. Fill your heart up with love for this explorer, and when you're ready, beam that love into her heart. Fill up her heart with love all the way to the top, and then let it spill out over and fill up the rest of her. When she's all filled with love, you can let her go about her business. She's got some more exploring to do. And now it's time to call up your 5-year-old self. Oh, this is an exciting time. You want to fill your heart with love for this girl who is going to kindergarten. Her world is opening up. She's doing such big things she hadn't done before. And there's bigger expectations on her. She has to stand in line, take turns, raise her hand. It can be really hard. She doesn't always know what to do, and sometimes she comes home exhausted and cranky. But she keeps going. She is learning so much. So she is totally deserving of love. So fill your heart up with love for her, and when you're ready, send it off to her heart. Fill her heart with love and then her whole body so that she knows that she is worthy. She is totally deserving. Then let her go off. She's got kindergarten to go to, new friends to meet. And now, let's call up your 11-year-old self. She is off to middle school. Oh, this is such an important time of life. I want you to fill your heart up with love for her. She's going to a new place with new people. She's going to have several classes with different teachers instead of just the main one all day long. There's going to be lots more kids to deal with. School and her social life is getting a lot more challenging. This takes a lot of energy. And she's doing the best she can with what she knows at this age, but she doesn't know everything. She can't. So she is going to struggle at times. She's going to make mistakes. She's going to be scared and embarrassed and all those things. Fill your heart up with love for her, doing the best she can with what she has. And send that love from your heart into her heart. Fill her heart up with love and then let it spill over and fill up her whole body so that she knows that she is loved, she's good enough, even when she makes these mistakes, even when she doesn't know what to do. All right, when she's ready, go ahead, send her off to middle school, and it's time to call up your 13 or 14-year-old self, whatever age you were when you went through puberty, okay? Oh man, fill your heart up with love for this explorer. This is a totally new world. All sorts of changes are happening in her body, in her feelings, in the way the other kids are acting, maybe in her friends. Maybe some friends are being mean. Maybe some have decided not to be friends. This is a time for lots of change, and it can be so confusing, so scary, so embarrassing even. And parents expect more from her too. And they don't get what she's going through. For some reason, parents never seem to remember. But she is doing the best she can. So when your heart is filled to overflowing for her, go ahead and beam that love into her heart. Fill up her heart and then fill up her whole body with love. Oh man, does she need it? Going through puberty is nobody's idea of a fun time. But she is worthy of this love. She's going through a tough time and she's doing it with as much grace as she possibly can. And when she is filled with love, let her go on off to keep going, doing that growing and changing and learning. And I want you to call up your 17-year-old self. Everything's changing here. Fill up your heart with love as you think about all the changes she's going through. Maybe she started dating and, oh man, she's trying to figure out how that even works. What does she want? What's right? What's wrong? She doesn't know. She's trying to figure it out. And perhaps she's even getting ready to leave home because it's time to go to college. And that's scary too. I mean, she's going to be much more in charge in a way she never has before. She's going to make all those decisions on her own. And yes, she's going to make mistakes. She doesn't know and she knows she doesn't know. But she knows that she isn't going to get it all right. She's going to make mistakes. Part of her is figuring it out. That's part of going off in the world. She's doing it. She's doing the best she can. So I want you to fill your heart up with love for this 17-year-old girl who is still a girl, but in many ways is expected to be an adult too. It's tough. but she'll get there. She's doing it, okay? Fill your heart up with love for her. And when you're ready, beam that love into her heart. Fill up her heart and then fill her whole body up with love so that she could take that with her off into the world. All right. You can go back through this again, pausing if you needed more time to fill up your heart with love and fill your younger self up with love. And you can pause it. You can just do it on your own, whatever feels best for you. But I want you to pay attention here. We just worked on some of the pivotal ages in childhood. But that's not necessarily the ages that you most need to send love to your younger self. You know what ages were the most challenging for you. And I encourage you to do what we just did for those specific times in your life. Most of them are probably going to be in childhood, but you don't need to limit yourself there. If you've got times when you were a young adult or even older that need that love, go ahead. Call up your younger self from that age. Fill your heart with love for her, and then send it to her, filling her up with your love. Again, if you struggle with feeling love for yourself, your younger self, think of someone you love at a similar age. Your own child, someone else's child, a friend at that age. Now you know you'd probably be more accepting, more loving, more forgiving of that person if they did the same things you did. You'd realize that everyone goes through these stages, everyone makes mistakes while learning and growing. It's just part of being human. So if it's okay in someone else, someone you love, then know it was okay for you to do what you did at that age too. And of course, if any part of this is just too challenging for you, you can always bring it to a hot seat. Okay? Until I see you again, happy tapping.